Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Today we are continuing with the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien because there is something that really ticks me off that's coming up where some people are saying we're going to write the novel Tolkien never wrote. So, what better time to look at the story Tolkien actually wrote? Good news for us, not only is it published in a book, but he even left us a handy dandy letter which summarizes major events in the Silmarillion. This is letter 131 written to his publisher. We're going to pop right into the middle of this letter, and a few paragraphs into the summary, you'll see why I decided to make this into several parts. Let's start with the highlighted portion where I chose to begin. The main body of the tale, the Silmarillion proper, is about the fall of the most gifted kindred of the elves, their exile from Valinor, a kind of paradise, the home of the gods, in the furthest west. Their re entry into Middle Earth, the land of their birth, but long under the rule of the enemy, and their strife with him, the power of evil still visibly incarnate. The enemy with the capital E at this point is the big bad Melkor. Melkor was originally one of the Valar, one of the most gifted ones, who rebelled against God and wanted to go in his own way. If that sounds a little bit familiar, I think there's probably a good reason, but the applicability is a little too obvious, so I will not go into that. But I wanted to make it clear the enemy is Melkor, not Sauron. That will be later. Continuing. It, the Silmarillion, receives its name because the events are all threaded upon the fate and significance of the Silmarilli, radiance of pure light, or primeval jewels. By the making of gems, the sub-creation function of the elves is chiefly symbolized, but the Silmarilli were more than just beautiful things as such. There was light. There was a light of Valinor made visible in the two trees of silver and gold. These were slain by the enemy out of malice, and Valinor was darkened, though from them, ere they died utterly, were derived the lights of sun and moon. A marked difference here between these legends and most others is that the sun is not a divine symbol, but a second best thing, and the light of the sun, the world under the sun, become terms for a fallen world and a dislocated, imperfect vision. But the chief artificer of the elves, Theanor, had imprisoned the light of the Valinor in the three supreme jewels, the Silmarilli, before the trees were sullied or slain. This light thus lived thereafter only in the gems. The fall of the elves comes about through the possessive attitude of Feanor and his 7 sons to these gems. They are captured by the enemy, set in his iron crown, and guarded in his impenetrable stronghold. The sons of Feanor take a terrible and blasphemous oath of enmity and vengeance against all or any, even of the gods, who dares to claim any part or right in the Silmarilli. What could possibly go wrong? They pervert the greater part of their kindred who rebel against the gods and depart from paradise and go to make hopeless war upon the enemy. The first fruit of their fall is war in paradise, the slaying of elves by elves. And this and their evil oath dogs all their later heroism, generating treacheries and undoing all victories. The Silmarillion is the history of the war of the exiled elves against the enemy, which all takes place in the northwest of the world, Middle Earth. Several tales of victory and tragedy are caught up in it, but it ends with catastrophe and the passing of the ancient world, the world of the long First Age. The jewels are recovered by the final intervention of the gods, only to be lost forever to the elves, one in the sea, one in the deeps of earth, and one as a star of heaven. The legendarium ends with a vision of the end of the world, its breaking and remaking, and the recovery of the Silmarilli and the light before the sun. After a final battle which owes, I suppose, more to the Norse vision of Ragnarok than to anything else, though it is not much like it. I'm going to end part 1 here. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the story Tolkien wrote, and let me know what you think about the story Tolkien never wrote. Have a great day, and be certain to stick with what Tolkien gave us.